So I want to talk to you guys about this histamine era. Have any of you guys noticed how you find friends or yourself having much more resistant to certain foods and having more of histamine response, allergy issues? I feel like I know more than ever people with getting allergy shots and all this because they're just allergic to everything. This is likely a big aspect of mast cell activation, which we're having come in much more, especially since going through COVID. There's a lot of things that have been impactful with that. So I want to talk about mast cell activation and what that is. So it is like a histamine reaction. There are several things that can kind of impact that. And in this blog, I'm writing things out as well as discussing this with you on live. So root causes that can send us into mast cell activation. First of all, I guess mast cells are things within like our blood vessels, within like our ligaments and things like that. They're cells, they're there as a part of our protection. And when there's things that come into the body that are not supposed to be there or aggravate the system for too long, the body is going to create, those mast cells will create histamines. Now, when those get overactivated, we're having histamine responses to a variety of things just because of this overactivation. And there is a specific protocol you're wanting to go through to reduce mast cell activation. And it can take up to like 6 months to help reduce that. And oftentimes, many of the things that we're doing that are health things that even I would recommend can actually further activate the mast cells itself. So we have to calm the body and things like that. Things that can create our body to overreact and go into mast cell activation, toxic load. So the amount of chemicals that are in the environment and such, and being overwhelmed with that can cause mast cell activation. Then we have our gut imbalance. So as we have naturally that we produce DAO enzymes that help get rid of histamines that can come in through diet, but type of imbalance of bacteria, or even as we age, these DAO enzymes become less and less. So then our body is not clearing histamines. And if we have our body producing the histamines, plus we're bringing things within the diet that can cause histamines, that can be an issue. And things like your foods and lifestyles, if you're having alcohols, that can create a lot of histamines. If you're having a lot of pre-prepared foods that have sat too long, or a lot of aged meats or fermented foods, which I really prefer and do a lot of fermented foods with people because it can help with gut. But if you're someone who's having a histamine reaction or a mast cell activation, these things can be a negative. So a lot of the healthy things can actually activate and create an issue with mast cell activation. So you have to look at your lifestyle factors. If you've had, this is why COVID comes into play, if you've had an aggressive immune issue, autoimmune, or COVID where it became long COVID, these people are also seeing this mast cell activation, and that's part of it. So our viral, our immune system, these things are impacting that. Hormones, estrogens can play a big role in the shifting. So as we go into menopause or any kind of hormonal shifting, that can play a role in activating our histamines. So these are just some of the root factors. So if you think you have this mast cell activation, there is allergies will have specific triggers that will last for short amounts of time. Mast cell activation is constant triggers, unknown, lasting for long amounts of times. So this is a kind of a difference between mast cell versus histamine. We do have histamines. Getting rid of them is not we don't want to get rid of all our histamines. They do intentional things. However, if we have an overactivation, we're getting allergic and reactions from everything that's in our environment. We need to be able to help the body to calm down, and we need to do a specific protocol to switch these things and follow a specific type of diet, more of a low histamine diet itself. There's certain supplements you can implement, supporting with enzyme factors and such like this. So if you feel like you're having the mast cell activation, don't feel like your body is trying to kill you. And I feel like that's what it feels like, because it's very hard to go to the doctors and have them test for mast cell activation, because you have to be in a moment of flare with specific high levels of certain things in the system. And it can be very hard to notice that. People who have a lot of the there's certain other issues that you can have that can combined with this cardiovascular issues, some of these different things that engage where your blood will just drop randomly and things like that can be another indicator of mast cells. Sometimes you'll have a combination of two different things together, but helping to balance out the mast cells and calm the system will help with the other issues and diagnoses that you may be having from a doctor and such like that as well. So, realize it can be multi-level, but helping getting the mast cells to calm and to properly function and get the body removing histamines can do a lot for supporting other things that are going on in the system as well. So if it's not your body hating you and just falling apart, it's a matter of the body trying to deal with these histamines and remove them appropriately. So there is a process. If you're needing help with that, let me know. I have a program that I've done, even with my gut restore. I put in there things to shift to do for if you're having high histamines or mast cell activation versus just the normal gut rebuild, because the normal gut and gaps and things like that that you would do to support and rebuild the gut can actually cause a flare if you're having more mast cell activation. This is just something that we're seeing more and more, and we want to be able to help people to work through and calm things down because it can be real stressor on life and inhibit and keep you from being able to enjoy things and do certain things, and having constant flares and nasal issues can impact even the vessel health and cardiovascular. So let me know. It isn't your body just trying to kill you. It's just telling you it wants safety and to calm things down. And this is just a process that we have to work through. So I hope this is helpful to give you some information. I feel like this is one thing that's another aspect out there that most people are just not aware of. And even if you're not full mast cell doing things to help the body calm and deal with histamines, if you're having a lot of allergy reactions, this can be very, very helpful. So if you need any help, let me know. Hopefully this gave you some insights. The blog itself will go into more detail of the things that can impact that. So have a great day.